Georgia, yeah. We're going to. I see it, I feel it. I feel it. But it is crunch time. We have to go out and vote. We have to get out there. We have to vote. We're running for so much. You know, Time magazine just recently had a cover story, and they talked about the momentum that we have, but they really talked about the fact that this is a movement. This is something that they haven't really seen before. I think they're saying they've never seen anything like this before. And we have such amazing people, whether it's here or Dallas or Mobile, Alabama or Houston or any place. It's always the people of our country are amazing, amazing people. And we want to win again. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Isn't it true, though? You know, we look at ourselves and we're all very capable people and we know what we're doing and we know what we want. But isn't it true? Our country does not win anymore. We don't win against ISIS. We don't win with trade. We don't win with health care. We're, by the way, terminating Obamacare. We're going to come up with something so good. We don't win at the border with Mexico. We don't win anywhere, but we're going to win. Oh, are we going to win? You're going to get so tired of winning. You're going to get so tired. You're going to say, please, please, Mr. President, we can't stand it anymore. We don't want to keep winning. We can't stand it. And I'm going to say, I don't care. We're going to keep winning. We're going to make America great again. No, we're going to win a lot, and you're going to love winning because we need to pick up some slack. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So we just got back from South Carolina, and the people there, again, amazing. What they sent us off was such a beautiful victory, such a conclusive victory. Out of the 7 congressional districts, we won all 7. We picked up 100%. Amazing. A record. That's a record. We picked up every single vote. We picked up every single delegate. We walked away with 50. There are 50, and we picked up 50. That's good. Great. So, and you know, it was just a signal. It was just amazing. I went from place to place to place. I'd make these speeches 4 or 5 a day. You think that's easy? It's not easy, okay? It's not easy. How many people do you have? Like 12, 13,000? There's a lot of people in here. Wow. This place is packed. I do hope, though, that we have a few protesters so the cameras will turn, you know? Because they'll never... I always tell, they focus on my face and I go home and my wife is always saying, I didn't know, I didn't see the crowd. She hears the crowd. You know, a crowd like this has a roar, right? She hears it. So the victory last night was very, very decisive. And, you know, I was hearing like, the Wall Street Journal, they came out with a phony poll. They came out with this poll. What a lot of nonsense. No, it was very worried. 2 in a row. You know, I'll tell you about it. We had a very interesting, last month I had a great poll in the Wall Street Journal. I couldn't find it in the paper, okay? They announced, you know what I'm talking about. They announced about 4 or 5 weeks ago, a wonderful poll. I was leading, it was a national poll. I was leading. I couldn't find it in the paper. I don't think it was there. They covered other things. I didn't want to do that because it was too good. So, but I couldn't find it in the paper. Then they came out with this really lousy poll. I mean, I was still up, but I was up by the least amount that I've been up so far, and we've been doing this for a long time. June 16th is when I came down, right? The escalator, the famous escalator, right? Big day. Not easy, let me tell you, it takes guts. But since June 16th, so I've been essentially the front runner from right up until this time. So the Wall Street Journal comes out with this poll. Horrible, horrible language that they wrote about it. I mean, you couldn't have made it negative. They picked out people that spoke very negatively. I said, where did they meet these people, right? Where did they meet them? And it was a lousy poll, and they put it on the front page of the Wall Street Journal about South Carolina, that my lead was razor thin, that I'm going down. And I said, why? Tell me why. And I felt good. I mean, I felt so good. I saw it. And everybody else was even criticizing. They say it's an outliner. It's really not. Everybody else was saying the same thing because I'm at 35, 36, 42. And this thing was, this thing was way low. So I was leading by like only 4 points, 5 points. And that's like a little scary because because I'm a believer in polls, as you probably heard, but only when they're good polls. When they're bad polls, I don't like. So this was one on South Carolina, and it was bad. And the next day they had another one that was, let's say, national, and that wasn't good. I was leading, but by very little. And then we had the vote, and boy, did we do great. Did we do great. And today I tweeted, sign up everybody at Real Donald Trump. Today I tweeted, my tweet, I love this tweeting. It's like owning the New York Times without the losses. It's incredible. It's true. Today I tweeted that the Wall Street Journal should fire their pollster and their editorial board. They should. Because honestly, they're no good. They're no good. Well, I guess that's why papers don't do too well nowadays. So we've had such an exciting time. Now we're really in it. New Hampshire, big, huge victory. We won everything up there. We won everything. I mean, Iowa, we really won everything too, but they didn't give me credit. They should have given me credit because I think we were in first place in Iowa. You want to know the truth? A lot of things happened. A lot of things happened. Those caucuses, that's a lot of stuff going on over there. I'll tell you what. A lot of things. And what happened to Dr. Ben Carson in Iowa should not be allowed to happen. Let me tell you that. Should not be allowed. So we did the Iowa thing, came in second, very, very strong second, but I think we really came in first. And then we go to New Hampshire and we came in like resounding. And then we just win again. And that was yesterday. So I love it. Ow. Listen to this. We won with everything. We won with women. I love the women. We won with women. We won with men. I'd rather win with women, to be honest, but that's all. We won with evangelicals, like unbelievable. We won with the military. We won. And do we love our vets? Do we love our vets? We're going to take care of our vets. We are going to take care of our vets. Our vets are not being treated. We have illegal immigrants, and they're treated much better in some cases than our vets. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So we won with everything. We won with highly educated, pretty well educated, and poorly educated. But we won with everything. Tall people, short people, fat people, skinny people, just won. No, it was a great day and a beautiful day. And South Carolina is a beautiful place with just incredible people. And I was so honored. And I did, because of this phony poll that they put out, I was a little bit concerned. But pretty soon into it, we saw what was happening because we saw the lines. They had the biggest vote that they've ever had. And I will say this, it to me looks like Hillary unless she goes to jail, which is a possibility. Now, which is a possibility. Nobody wants to see that, but look, I mean, what she did is very serious. But I think she's being protected by the Democrats, personally. I think she's being protected, right? And I beat her in the two recent polls, USA Today and another one. We beat her in the Q poll, Quinnipiac. We beat her, and we beat her very nicely. I love to win. Don't we love to win? Love it. And with Bernie, I don't see it with Bernie. I don't see it. Now, See, he made a big mistake. For the sake of a soundbite 4 weeks ago, they said, what do you think of the secretaries? They still call her the secretary, which is interesting. What do you think of the secretary's email situation? Well, I want to get rid of it. I think it's... And that was the end of his campaign right there. Because he gave it away, got a slight applause. Well, wonderful, isn't that nice? But he gave it away. So let's see what happens. I think it's going to be Hillary. It shouldn't be Hillary, honestly. It shouldn't be. But I think it's going to be Hillary. And I think we are going to do so well. I think people are so tired of Barack Obama and this terrible, terrible administration. So, I love you too. That's a guy, but I do love him, actually. They are so tired. Do you notice the way that Hillary now, I've never seen pandering. The president is wonderful. The president, this Keystone is great. This is great. That's bad. Everything he wants. Actually, she doesn't like the Keystone pipeline. We should have it, but we'll make a much better deal. We should have it, but we should get a piece of the action for the United States, right? Right? See, only a businessman would say that, you know. Why should we approve it? They're using, by the way, eminent domain to make it, otherwise you can't. We should get a piece of the action. Approve it. It's a lot of jobs. Frankly, it's Canadian oil. I don't care so much, but we'll be good neighbors. We'll approve it. We'll get the jobs, but we should get like 25% of the profits or 25% of the ownership for the United States, right? Right? You know, when I was watching that, it's like an up or down. Now, they voted it down, you know that, but we'll turn that over very quickly. Too many jobs, and it's fine, and no environmental problems. I mean, it's better than trains and trucks going back and forth. But I kept saying, why doesn't somebody say, we'll approve it, but let's get a piece for the United States, because they have no business ability. Let me tell you, I'm running against people. It started off 17, right? And I talk about economic things. For instance, I talk about the fact that illegal immigration is a disaster for us. It's a disaster. We right now have 179,000, came out last week. We have 179,000 illegal immigrants who are criminals. These are people that were convicted. No, think of it. Think of it. No, they're going. Oh. And as much as you want to put them in our jails, they were probably sent here so that we put them in our jails. Because to put them in our jails, they didn't pay the electric bill. To put them, oh, I like that much better. Oh, that's so much better. Those lights were brutal. They come from the dishonest press? Where? Oh, don't turn them on. Forget it. Better, right? Don't turn them on. Don't turn the lights on, plus we save on electricity, right? And because the lights didn't work, I won't pay the rent, so we get better lighting and we don't pay the rent, right? Right? No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off. So much nicer. No, that's the way we have to negotiate for our country. Think of it. That's the way we have to. That's the way my son negotiates. That's the way Jared negotiates. Come here. Come here. Eric, come here. Jared, come here. That's the way we have to negotiate for our country. The lights go off. Now listen. Come here. Ready? Now listen. There's just the thing. The lights go off. It's better. We say we want the lights on. It's terrible. We take a big deduction off the rent because the lights are, but it's actually better. It's the kind of sick thinking we really need for our country. Isn't that right? So because the lights didn't work, even though it's better, we say we're not paying the rent. The lights didn't work. This is ridiculous. We will not pay the rent. And we say bye-bye. This is Eric, my son, and my son-in-law, Jared. Here, come on, say something.
Wow. Wow. Well, guys, we are so proud of him. He is the greatest father in the world. And honestly, when we were standing there last night, we couldn't have been more proud as a family. Honestly, he did such an awesome job. We are going to make America great again. We are going to win this thing. Thank you.
Two great guys. They work hard. They love, boom, they love. Get those lights off. They're taunting us. They're taunting us. All right. I love you too. Look at that guy. I love you. Beautiful. So thanks, fellas. Thanks. I'll see you in a minute. See, they don't want to get off the stage. You see that? That's what happened. So we have, thank you. So when I did this, when I originally decided, it was June 16th, and it was at Trump Tower in Manhattan, and I got so sick and tired of looking at these stupid, incompetent, ridiculous deals that we're doing. We can't beat ISIS with the military. We can't negotiate trade deals. The Iran deal was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, and it went on for years and years and years. $150 billion we give to a terrorist state. The other day, I don't know if you saw, they were talking to Secretary Kerry, and they were saying, but he may be running, you know. I would love to run against him. Anybody, I'll tell you what, I'd love to run against him. Anybody that made that deal, it's so bad, there's no way he could become president. Do you agree with that? There's no way. But I look, and they were talking about the deal and where the money's being spent, and somebody said about terror. Oh, well, yes, we would expect that. We haven't found that yet, but we would. Can you believe there's a guy, we give him $150 billion, and he expects some of the money to go to terror. I don't know if you saw that. It was disgusting. So that deal could have been so much better. Nothing wrong with deals. I love deals. They have to be great deals. They have to be great deals. That deal could have been so much better. It could have been so good. First of all, the hostages should have been released before we started negotiating, period. Period. Which, by the way, is years ago. You know, you ever see a deal take so long? And you walk in, and you know this, you've heard it, but it's like basic. You walk in, and you see these guys, great negotiators, Persians. Persians are very good negotiators. But we have the greatest negotiators in the world in our country. We have the best. We have guys that are so good. We have guys and women that are so good. And we don't use them. We use political hacks. We use people that got their job because they take care of the senators, some of whom I'm on the stage with. We don't negotiate anything. The country is going to hell. We don't negotiate drug prices. We don't negotiate anything. We have people that don't know the first thing about what they're doing. They don't know about trade. They don't know about economics. Every single, you know, Carl Icahn endorsed me recently. He's one of the great businessmen. Carl and others, these are the best people. And me, and so many deals are so easy. The Iran deal, you ready? You walk in, you say, fellas, you got to do us a favor. Release our prisoners. This is 4 years ago when it's release our prisoners. They're going to say no. And we say, bye-bye, bye. And then you go outside, you call up, you double up the sanctions, you triple up the sanctions. Within 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, they will call you and they'll say, the prisoners are gone. They're gone. Amazing, a miracle. Then, and I tell this story, and one of the media folks like this story, so I'll tell it the way I like to tell it. But my father taught me a lot. I had a father who really taught me a lot. And he thought I was a little bit rough around the edges. He thought, we got to calm him down, right? He was a good teacher. And I think Eric is listening to this one because I have to teach him too. He's pretty tough, but he's good. But, you know, my father said, son, take the lumps out. Take the lumps out. I remember him going like this, lumps, take the lumps out. So I said, be easy, a little bit easier, you get the same thing. So I took the lumps out. So I would have gone in and I would have said to him the following, We owe $19 trillion in debt. 19 trillion. Does anybody even know what a trillion means, right? Very few people do, by the way. If we sat you, all you know what it means? You know what it means? It means a lot. That's what it means. It means a lot. We owe 19 trillion. The Republicans, I'm a Republican, just approved one of the worst PACs. You know, they call it the omnibus bill, the budget. Did you see that deal? Under that deal, Obama gets everything he wants. He gets the right to move terrorists in. He gets the right and money for the Syrians to come in off the line, and we have no idea who they are. They could be ISIS. He gets illegal immigrants into the country. He funds everything he wants to fund. And they approved it so fast, right? They approved it. So we get the prisoners. They'll say, you've got your prisoners. Now you go in. And instead of saying, here's the way I would have said it if I didn't have my father, because he taught me a lot. He was, what I really learned, he taught me a lot. I would have said, if I didn't have him, because I think we have a lot of natural talent, right? I would have said, we're not paying you the $150 billion. We'll never pay you. You don't have a chance of getting it. That's tough. See, that's no good, though. It's too tough. You're too challenging. Who needs it? So now, because I've become over the years, very experienced and smart, now I say very simply, fellas, we got a problem. Our country is going to hell. We've had incompetent leadership, grossly incompetent. Like, how about the worst? We owe $19 trillion. We're going to owe another $2 trillion soon because of this horrible budget. But we owe $19 trillion. We're a debtor nation. Our infrastructure is falling to pieces. Our health care is no good. Common Core is horrible. It's costing us a fortune. We're getting rid of Common Core. We're getting rid of Common Core, by the way. We're going to have local education. Getting rid of Common Core, that'll be one of the early things, okay. And we just don't have the $150 billion. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to tell you, we don't have it. They'll go crazy for about a day, and then on the second day, they'll call and we'll start. And we just saved $150 billion, believe me. Now, believe me. Now, these politicians that I'm dealing with, they're up in the States. These people, they don't have a clue. They never employed a person in their life. They don't have a clue. So they're up in the States. And some are nice guys, actually. Some I don't like, some I do like. It's one of the, I won't get into the ones that left because they're gone. Once they're gone, right? You know what you say? Once they're gone, who the hell cares, right? So we won't get into that, right? He's laughing. Now they leave. Good luck. We think you're wonderful. How do you like them? Wonderful people. They're great. So we have 5 people now. 5 people. But they come to me and they say, why do you keep saying we're going to build a wall? You can't build a wall. We're going to build a wall. We're building a wall. They all said, you won't be able to build a wall. See that ceiling up there? That ceiling is low compared to the wall I'm talking about. Okay, that's a pretty high ceiling. So they come back and they say, you can't build a wall. And what do I say also? Who's going to pay for the wall? Who? Mexico's paying for the wall. Now, you might have heard me last night because I said this, 10 feet, right? 10 feet. The former president of Mexico held a news conference. First of all, if he's the former president, why is he holding a news conference? When you're the former, nobody cares. Calderon. But he held a news conference and he said, we will never, ever pay for the wall. He's a good speaker, actually. Who cares? We will never, ever pay for the wall. So the press called me up. These guys right there, world's most dishonest people, the press, the media. No, they are the world's most dishonest people. They are terrible, terrible human beings. They are. They are terrible, terrible, terrible human beings. But anyway, they called me. They called me. See, some are smiling and others are just repulsed by that fact. You are terrible, terrible. But they called me and they said, Calderon said, we're not paying for the wall. Could I please have a response from you, Mr. Trump? You know what I said? The wall just got 10 feet taller. 10 feet taller. Hey, do we have a good time or what? Do we have a good time? You know, nobody else gets these crowds. Bernie is second, but it's bad, and he's fading. Oh, he's fading fast. Bernie's second. I have to say, our crowds are much larger than Bernie, but he is second. He's ahead of the guys I'm competing with, that I can tell you. But I have a feeling Bernie's going to start to fade. He had to win yesterday. He had to win. And by the way, you know where I'm going right after this? To Nevada, because we have, that's a beautiful building, right? I have a beautiful hotel, a lot of employees there, but we have a big vote. Our next one's Nevada. Then we have you folks, the SEC, they call it. So the problem is, and when I was sort of insulted when he said he's not going to pay for it. Who is he to say he's not going to pay for the wall? Number one, he's not in office. Number two, even if he was, he's got to pay for the wall. And you know why? So these guys come up. First they say, don't forget, they're politicians. All talk, no action. They don't know what the hell they're doing, believe me. They will never take you to the promised land. They will never get you there. They don't have a clue. So first they say, we will not have a wall, right? But they come up to me and they say, what are you talking about, a wall? You can't build a wall. I said, what do you mean? We have 1,000 miles that we need. It's 2,000 miles. We have 1,000. The Great Wall of China, built 2,000 years ago, is 13,000 miles long. And that's a serious wall, I want to tell you this. And they didn't have Caterpillar tractors, and they didn't have They did it the old-fashioned way. They did it very tough. But the Great Wall of China is 13,000 miles long. We have 2,000 miles, of which we need only 1,000 because we have natural buffers. So we need 1,000. It is so easy. It's going to be so big, so strong, so beautiful. It's going to work, believe me. Walls work. Not the little ones that they have now. They have ramps. They build ramps. Not the little ones, but this wall. You can ask Israel about walls that work. Believe me, walls work. You can ask. Walls work. So the politicians that I'm running against, they come up and they said, do you really think you could build a wall? Like it's hard to build. You build 95-story buildings. Building walls is nothing. Precast concrete. We would build such a nice wall. I want to make it nice because someday maybe they're going to name it after me, right? I have to make it nice. So maybe. I don't know. Maybe I want something else. I want more than a wall. No, we have to make it good. We are going to make it. We're going to make it beautiful. We're going to make it so it works. But they say to me, you can't build. Number one, you can very easily. In fact, it's very simple. I could get it done quickly. Much, much, much cheaper than what they thought. And, 15 years ago, they wanted to build a wall. They couldn't get their environmental impact statements done. There were snakes, toads, snails. Things were in the way. This is our country. And I always say, you look at China, right? You take a look, South China Sea right now. China's building a military base in the middle of the sea. And they're ripping and dumping and ripping and dumping. And I have a lot of friends from China. I mean, look, hey, I'm not angry at China that they're ripping us off. I'm angry at our country and our politicians that we can be ripped off. So here's China. They decide on a Sunday to build it. They start construction on Monday. Do you think they have environmental thoughts in mind? I don't think so, right? So they're building this massive military base in the middle of the South China Sea. We can't build a wall. We can't build a wall because we can't get environmental impact statements. So this was 15 years ago. They wanted to build it. A lot of the people that are opposed to it now, even the Pope was opposed to it, but they didn't give him a proper briefing, I'm telling you. Because the Pope, who was terrific, and he was very nice, he issued a beautiful statement yesterday. Because honestly, Mexico said to him, we have this man named Trump, and he is stopping illegal immigration, crime, drugs, and everything else. But they didn't say crime, drugs. They said, he is stopping our people from crossing the border. You're damn right we're going to stop. We're stopping people from crossing the border. You know, we've had some great endorsements, some great. Sarah Palin, who's been terrific, she endorsed, and Jerry Falwell Jr. endorsed. I think with Jerry and Sarah, that's why I won with the evangelicals. Oh, look, we have a protester. Oh, ho. We have a protester. They just told me it was the protester that turned the lights off. I love you. Thank you. It's so much better. So much better. All right, you can get him out of here. Thank you. Get him out. Get him out. You know, we've been doing this now for a while, but at the very beginning, we've had big crowds from the beginning. Thank you very much. Enjoy your stay. Thank you. Look at the cameras. Look at those cameras. They turn like pretzels. They want to see it. They're like pretzels. Why don't you show the audience, cameras? Come on, show the audience. Come on, cameras, show the audience. These guys never, ever, ever want to show the audience. It's disgusting. We had a case 3 weeks ago. I had 12,000 people. Bernie Sanders had 3,000 people. That's a good crowd. They covered it. Bernie Sanders had a massive crowd of 3,000 people. My 12,000 people, they don't want to mention. It's unbelievable. It's not mine. It's our 12,000 people. They are so dishonest. I turn the cameras. Hey, can you do me a favor? You, turn the cameras. Show them the crowd we have, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good. So, on June 16th, I came down the escalator with my wife, and I took a big, deep breath. Because let me tell you, it's not easy, okay? It's not easy. But I love our country. I love the people of our country. I've gotten to love them more and more. I see we have such incredible potential. This country is amazing. I want to make Apple iPhones and computers and all of the stuff. I want to start making it in our country, not in China. And we're going to put a lot of pressure on Apple and these other companies to make their product here. We have incredible people. And the reason they make it over there is because they're money manipulators. Because you look at what China does to their currency, you take a look at the way they devalue their currency, and it makes it impossible for our people to compete. They're manipulators. The new trade deal, it is so bad for us. It is so bad for us. You have countries, TPP, very good, you're really up on it. Trans-Pacific Partnership. This is the worst. They don't even talk about manipulation. That's their number one method. Devaluation of currency. And China is like a grand chess master. There's nobody that's ever done it better. So we ought to get rid of that. We have some conservative politicians and some liberal politicians that want it badly. The reason they want it badly, take a look at their campaign finance. Take a look at the people giving them money. I'm self-funding. I'm putting up all my own money. I'm putting up my money. So I'll tell you a quick story. So it came down, and I'm coming down, and I focused on trade, and I focused on the border, and some other things, and I mentioned illegal immigration. That was a big factor. And we took off, okay? Because then you had Kate, beautiful Kate in San Francisco. You had Jamil in California. You had the 65-year-old female veteran who was raped, sodomized, and killed in California by an illegal immigrant, and many, many, many more. And people started saying, you know, Trump is right. Trump is right. And all of a sudden that took off. Then you had Paris, where they killed 130 people because you know what? Paris, of all countries, France and Paris have the toughest gun laws. The toughest gun laws like in the world. I've heard that for a long time. So they walk into these various places, boom, boom, you come over, boom, boom. 130 people killed, no bullets going the other way. If people in that room would have had guns on their waist or guns on their ankle, it wouldn't have been that way. It wouldn't have been that way. And you wouldn't have needed many, believe me. You wouldn't have needed many. So it started with the trade, then it started with the border, then we had the big ISIS problem, and now every time they do polls, like CNN did a big poll, when it comes to security, when it comes to ISIS, when it comes to the military, every single category, I'm leading like by a lot. And by the way, big on the economy, we expect that. But I don't mean by like 2 points, I mean like by 40 points, like forget it. The only category I do badly in is my personality. And that's okay. Who cares? And you know what? You want to know something? I'm a better person than the people I'm running against. I see it. Let me tell you. So we have a big problem, radical Islamic terror. It's a tremendous problem. It's a worldwide problem. And until we find out what's going on, we're going to be smart and we're going to be vigilant and we're going to hold things up, because there's no way we can allow people to come into this country. We don't know who they are, where they come from. They're strong. You look at the migration. There's so many young, strong men on that line. And you say, where are the women? Where are the children? We cannot take a chance. You look at what's happening to Germany, it's a mess. I have friends, they're leaving Germany now. You look at what's going on in Sweden and Brussels and all these countries, they never had a problem. They have a massive problem. And let me tell you something, it's only gonna get worse. So we will do safe zones in Syria. I'll get the Gulf states who are not putting up any money for anything, and they have more money than everybody. It's called other people's money. We don't want to use our money anymore. We don't have any money. We don't have any money. So I'll get the Gulf states to put up the money. They're not taking the people, and they're not putting up the money. You know, Saudi Arabia, listen to this. Saudi Arabia, and I have great friends in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was making $1 billion a day. We protect Saudi Arabia for peanuts. For peanuts. Every time there's a problem, and if you think they want Yemen, if you think that Iran wants Yemen, they don't want Yemen. They want that big, long, beautiful border because they want the oil in Saudi Arabia. And nobody's predicted this stuff like I find it fascinating. It's like a big chess game. Nobody has predicted it like I have. And we better be really smart. But that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that border, and that's what they want. So I like a safe zone. I mean, on a humanitarian basis, like healthcare. We want to take care of people. I like a safe zone. I don't want to pay for it because we're bust. We have $19 trillion. We got to get some of that paid off. We got to straighten out our budgets. We can't go about doing this, but I will get the Gulf states and others to pay. Believe me. Don't forget, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for us. We protect people. They're there. We get nothing. We protect, I don't know if you know this, you look at our military budget, it's 10 times higher than anybody else's. But you know what we do? We protect everybody. We protect Japan. Now, I like Japan. If Japan is attacked, we have to immediately go to their defense. We have to go to war. If we're attacked, Japan doesn't have to do anything. They can watch it on television. You really say, who makes these deals? So we protect Germany. Right? Germany is an economic behemoth. The Mercedes-Benzes pour into it. They're an economic behemoth. We protect Germany. We protect South Korea from the maniac in North Korea, right? We've got 28,000 soldiers on the line. Every time I order televisions, I order thousands and thousands of televisions. I have to go. They don't make them here anymore. They don't make them in our country anymore. I have to go to South Korea, right? And I order 4,000 televisions, and they all come. LG, Samsung. Sony lost its way. They're in Japan. They lost their way. I don't know. Something happened with Sony. They're not competitive. They're not competitive, I will tell you right now. Okay. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to hear it, but who cares? But they're made. And let me just tell you something. They make so much money, and we protect everybody. So why aren't they at least reimbursing us for our costs? Why are we protecting people that compete with us economically? You know, it's wonderful. I have buildings in South Korea. Why are we protecting people? Why are we protecting people that compete with us economically? And that's fine. We want that. We think that's good. World trade, free trade, all of that. We'll talk about that in 2 seconds too, by the way, because we don't want it to be stupid trade. And what we have right now is stupid trade. So we protect all of these countries. We get peanuts for it, and we're losing our shirts. Okay. Now, when it comes to dollars, the fact that I don't think I get credit for it. I've turned down tens of millions of dollars to run for office. These guys have hundreds of millions of dollars. They go out. I had $25 million worth of ads put against me in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I mean horrible ads, not even true ads. Not even true ads. But $25 million worth of ads against me over the last few weeks. These guys are all, and you know who's putting up the money? Special interest, donors, lobbyists. Because, and I'll give you a story. One of the candidates, I won't say who yet, but you can find out. One of the candidates, the head of a major, and the owner of a major pharmaceutical company is in charge of his campaign, right? You know that, right? In charge of his campaign. Raises hundreds of millions of dollars. They've raised a fortune. They have a fantastic, a lot of money. Pharmaceutical. So a friend of mine comes up to me, a doctor. He said, Donald, I don't understand it. The United States is the biggest purchaser of drugs in the world. They don't negotiate price. They're not allowed to. And I said, what are you talking about? They're not allowed to. So I said, that can't be, but let me check it. As soon as I checked it, I realized why. He's right. We pay like if you go into a drugstore to buy a drug. I'm talking about a drug to get you better. If you go into a drugstore, buy a drug, the United States pays like that price. Instead of getting a massive discount because they buy so much. If we negotiated the price of drugs, we would save $300 billion a year, okay? No, think of that. And we don't do it. You know why? Because the senators and the congressmen and all these people get campaign contributions from the pharmaceutical companies. With me, I don't get anything. We're going out to bid, folks, believe me. We're going out to bid. Now, a terrible thing happened, but this has been happening all the time. Many companies are leaving this country. Pfizer's moving to Ireland. Great company, great pharmaceutical company. So even though they get a deal, they're still leaving the country. They'll probably get that deal even though they're going to be located in Ireland. But we have some terrible things. Companies are leaving. Corporate inversion. People can't get their money back into this country. The Democrats agree. The Republicans agree. We have a president that's not a leader. He doesn't sit them in a room so you make a deal. We could get that deal done in 10 minutes. Who doesn't want? We have $2.5 trillion. We can't get it into the country. We would set that up so fast. Now, companies are leaving. They're leaving tremendous number of jobs. I'm cutting taxes very substantially. We're the highest taxed country in the world. We're shutting down business with our regulations and with our taxes. We're going to open it up and we're going to have we are going to have again, a dynamic country. Dynamic. So last week, I'm sure you saw, somebody had the cell phone going and people from Carrier, air conditioners, good air conditioner, I buy them. Carrier is leaving our country. They're closing up and they're moving to Mexico. Everyone's moving to Mexico. By the way, Ford is moving to Mexico. Nabisco is closing their big Chicago plant. They're moving to Mexico. So listen to this. Okay, listen to this. So Carrier announces that they're moving to Mexico. How does it help us? How does it help us? There's no way. It doesn't help us. I know. I went to the great schools and all that. If you didn't go to high school, you know as much as me about this. It doesn't help. It's a horror show. We lose the jobs. We lose the factory. These people are going to be unemployed. They're going to end up in part-time jobs because Obamacare is so bad. Everybody now has a part-time job in order not to register through Obamacare, which is a disaster. So Carrier, and they have the people on a cell phone, a tape, and they're showing it, and it's a very sad thing. The boss is up there saying, I'm sorry, we're closing up here, we're moving to Mexico, good luck, enjoy yourselves. Some of these people have worked for Carrier for many years. They say, enjoy yourselves. And these people are devastated, you can see it, they're devastated. So here's what we're doing, very simple. The so-called, these people, somebody was going, Donald Trump is not a conservative. And I am a conservative. Hey, there's nobody more conservative than me on the border. There's nobody more conservative than me with Obamacare. We're entering it, There's nobody more conservative than me on education. Common Core is gone and we're going local. There is nobody tougher and more conservative than me on the military. We are going to build our military so big, so strong, so powerful that nobody is going to mess with us, folks. It's the cheapest thing we can do, believe me. We don't want to use it. I didn't want to go into the Iraq War. The Iraq War was a disaster. You don't want to do it. You don't want to use it. But we have to have the presence. So what I would do is the following. I would call up, and they'd say, it's not presidential if you call. Can you imagine I'm the president and I call up the head of Carrier? Maybe I won't do it. I probably will. Who cares? Who cares what they say? But why? I don't need anybody. This is so easy. This is like an easy exercise. So I'd say to them, listen, congratulations on your move to Mexico. I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I hope you make a lot of good air conditioners. But here's the story. You move to Mexico, every single air conditioner that you make and that you bring across the border and sell in the United States, we're putting a 35% tax on it, all right? And you know what's going to happen? They're going to call me. You know who's going to call me? The lobbyists, the donors, the special interests. But I don't have any donors. I don't have any special interest. I don't have any of this stuff. They're going to call Hillary, and they're going to call Ted Cruz, and they're going to call all these people. And you know what? They're going to run and make sure that nothing happens because these people gave them $1 million. They're going to make sure everything is so good. They're going to make sure, even though it's horrible for this country, that Carrier is not affected, that they can move to Mexico. We lose the jobs. Let them make a lot of money. Let them sell their air conditioners across the border. And as far as they're concerned, let the illegals carry them over the border. It's cheaper and it's even better for Carrier, right? And nobody checks the illegals anyway, so there's no problem. There's no problem, right? This country, we are going to hell. But here's the difference. With me, it doesn't matter. You saw the debate. I love the last debate. Some people thought I was too tough. I thought I was good. The one before that, they all said I won. They actually said I won every single debate. And I'm not a debater. I produce jobs. I make bills. I do a good job. I built a great company. When they filed, I filed. Everyone said, well, he'll never file because, he'll never file because maybe his company's not as big as people think and maybe he's not as strong. It turned out many, many times much bigger, much stronger, very little debt, like really little debt, tremendous cash flow, some of the greatest assets in the world, Doral, Turnberry, some buildings all over. And, they said, these guys back here, the press, the dishonest ones, they went down. They went to the federal elections offices. They wanted to get me. And they called, some of them called, say, wow, you've done a great job. I don't mean that from a bragging standpoint, folks. I mean that because that's the kind of thinking we need in our country. We got to straighten our country out. We got to straighten our country out. So with Carrier, and by the way, with Ford and with Nabisco, I'm not eating Oreos anymore, I promise. But with Carrier, I'd say, here's the story. You got to pay the 35%. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. First of all, a couple of guys will call me, but it's irrelevant, okay? But when they call the politicians jump. Believe me, they jump. They're going to call me. I won't even take their calls. And within a day, the head of carrier will call me and say, Mr. Trump, we've decided to relocate back into the United States, okay? So somebody would say, that's not a very conservative thing because they talk about free trade. But we don't have free trade. China charges us tax. Other countries charge us tax, and a lot of them call it tariffs because it's a cuter word. China is a disaster. I have so many friends in China. I have the biggest bank in the world is a tenant of mine in New York, in Manhattan, Chinese bank, 400 million customers, 400 million. They're a tenant of mine in New York. I get along great. They buy my condos. I own the Bank of America building with a group in San Francisco, 1290 Avenue of the Americas. I got it from China. So nothing wrong with China. China's wonderful. I love Mexico. Mexico's great. Employ thousands of people, but we can't let them rip us off. They're ripping us off. They're ripping us off at the border, and they're ripping us off in trade. We can't let it happen. So some of these guys, I call them the stupid people, they're very conservative. You can't charge a tax because if you charge a tax, that's not a conservative thing to do. Now, I say, but you don't understand. When we sell our product to them, number one, they don't want our product in China. And number two, I have a friend, he's a great manufacturer. He tries to get his product into China, he can't get it in. And when he does get it in, they charge him a big tax. So it's not where, like, it's fair. We don't charge a tax, okay? So conservatives, they go, and I'm a conservative, but they go, that's not conservative. Oh, he's not a free trader. No, I'm a smart trader. I'm a smart trader. I'm a smart trader. And if they're going to play the game, we have to play the game better than they play the game. Just so you know, we have a trade deficit with China of $505 billion, okay? Think of it, $505 billion. This is yearly. This has been going on for years. It fluctuates between 350 billion to 500 billion. It's not going to happen anymore, folks. It's not going to happen anymore. We can't let this happen. What kind? And then you see Obama giving the heads of the Chinese delegation state dinners in Washington. State dinners. We eat McDonald's until we come to an agreement. Do you agree? No, really. Why are they doing that? Why are they doing it? So when I started and I came down and I made my speech, it was about the border. It was about safety. I love our police. By the way, our police do not get the credit. They do not get the credit. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the police. But I love our police. But it was about that. And then it morphed into other things. And now what's happening is the trade is really, really, really getting bad, folks. In the history of the world, there has never been a greater theft than what China has taken out of the United States. So we have rebuilt China with our money. They've taken our jobs, they've taken our money, they've taken so much. We can't let it happen anymore. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. Believe it or not, I'm a unifier. I get along with people. I get along. Even Putin called me a genius. I said, thank you very much. Do you know the Republicans wanted me to disavow Putin's statement? I said, there's no way I'll ever I don't know if he meant it, but I still won't disavow it. So look, we are going to have great trade deals. We are going to be the smart people again, but maybe smarter than ever before. We're going to have our best people, and we have the best, make our trade deals. We are going to have a great, great military. We're not going to be depleted. We are not, and this is like the pharmaceuticals, and you've read it since you've been growing up, me too, where the military gets planes that they don't want. And we always say, why do they get that plane when they want another one? And it's cheaper. It's better and it's cheaper. Because the company selling the plane gives campaign contributions to the people that I'm running against and more, and they have total control. We are going to have the most modern, beautiful military. We're going to put ourselves back on the map. And again, hopefully we're not going to have to use it. And the better we get, the less we're going to have to use it, okay? But we have to use it for a peace. And that peace is ISIS. We are going to knock the hell out of ISIS. Just remember that. So, Thank you. So in South Carolina, we have a governor named Nikki Haley, a nice woman. And she gave a speech the other day as referencing the president's speech. And she talked about myself and us. And she said, we're angry. We're angry. She said we're angry. No. And then in the debate, the one before last, it came up. Mr. Trump, Governor Haley said, you're angry. Now, I was supposed to say, oh, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm such a wonder. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with trade. I'm so happy with the Iran deal. I'm so happy with all these horrible deals. Name me one good thing that we've done. And I thought to myself, I said, wait a minute. She's saying I'm angry, and I am angry. So I said, I'm angry. I didn't say, I said, and the people that are smart are angry because we're tired of being the stupid people. We're not going to be the stupid people anymore. And I'll tell you what happened, because I love my people. I'll tell you, we have the most loyal people, the most loyal. You know, every poll comes out that with Trump's people, they never leave. The other ones, they keep them a little bit. If they say one thing a little bit off, if they use a wrong comma, if they use a little bad diction, that's the end of them. My people never leave. It's the strongest. I love my people. I love my people. So what happened is she was just absolutely, the people went crazy saying, why would we be happy? We're run by an incompetent. We're run by people that don't know what they're doing. We're losing militarily. We can't beat ISIS. We're losing militarily. We're losing on trade. Our school system's no good. Nothing's good. Nothing. We have nothing that's good. So when I said, I am angry, and I'm not an angry person. You know that. I'm not an angry person. You're not angry people. But we have a right to be angry because we've been sold down the river, folks, okay? We've been sold down the river. So, and you know, sometimes I say it, the American dream is dead, but we're gonna make it bigger and stronger and better than ever before. We're gonna do that. So we're gonna start, and it's gonna be soon. You have to get out and vote. You have to. We can't take a chance. I mean, things are looking good in Georgia, I have to tell you. They're looking good in every state. But you can't take a chance. It's the 1st of March. You can't take a chance. You got to get out. I joke. I say no matter how bad you're feeling, if your doctor says you're not going to make it for 24 hours, you're a goner. If your wife says she doesn't love you anymore, she's leaving. She's fallen in love with another man. I don't care. Get out of bed and vote, right? You got to do it. You've got to do it. So look, it's been an honor to be with you. I love you people. I really do. I love you people. I love you people. But we're going to, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's such an honor. It's such an honor. It really is. It's such an honor. So get out and vote. We're going to start winning again. And I tell this to some groups, sometimes I don't. But you're going to remember this evening, and you're going to say this was the beginning. We're going to be smart again. We're going to be sharp again. We're going to be respected again. We're not respected anywhere. We're not respected anywhere. We're not respected anywhere. So I just want to tell you, we're going to start winning again. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win with our military. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win with education. We're going to win with health care. We're going to win with the border. We're going to have a real border.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.